What's good? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening at the time you guys are watching this, man. It's the THHC podcast, man. We starting off with a record, man. A hot record, man, that's on the block right now. Y'all better crank this up, play it, man. It is called Lethal Medicine with Will Sully and my guest, Main the Medicine. Let's talk.
Bully nigga. Medicine, y'all know what it is. Something for the streets, nigga. Playing with y'all motherfuckers too long. Y'all want that lethal music? Here it is, lethal medicine. Check my fit, I'm cut from a different cloth. Drip, semi-gloss, outshine dummies, a loss, a silly thought. Hunger game, Marquis J, dynasty, what I really want. Kim Jong-un, move, I make the rocket launch. Presence of greatness, true, I change the ambiance. The block, the rep is all the same as what I'm standing on. Yo, let shit fly, yo, fuck what it's landing on. All up in your bitch canal, change the name to Panama. Riding dirty, passenger with the camouflage. Bucket seats, throwing heat, 24 challenger. Purple rain chopper, clear the streets, no janitor. The way we banging hammers, y'all would have thought the name was Gallagher. Just when you thought it was safe, we came in with pain, sun shitting all over the place. Just when you thought it was hope, we came in with the smoke, choke them out, left them hanging from rope. Just when you thought it was safe, we came in with pain, sun shitting all over the place. Just when you thought it was hope, we came in with the smoke, choke them out, left them hanging from ropes.
Yo. This is small circle, no switch-siders. We all keep it 100, no dick riders. IMF, 3 niggas that spit fire. Catacomb the foundation, hitman for hire. This the rise of the empire. The Sith Lord, I'm going off on you script biters. Dressed like superheroes and crime fighters. Get your body dragged over barbed wire. It's ECW when I come for you. I make you New Jacks extremely uncomfortable. I'm a kill on the mic, run the jewels. I leave you hanging from the cliff like the Huxtables. What's beef? You can't stomach a Lunchable. Man, I jump on stage and start snuffing dudes. Let me show you how to do this shit. Line for line, it's that uncut raw. Take your hit, pure dope. Main sick, the floor colder than Zola Bear shit. Who you calling old bitch? The cloth and the bully shit, y'all ain't even ready. Fuck y'all niggas, I'm stepping on toes, smacking faces. Came in with the hate, start shitting all over the place.
Just when you thought it was hope, we came in with the smoke, choked them out, left them hanging from ropes.
Just when you thought it was safe, we came in with the hate, start shitting all over the place.
Just when you thought it was hope, we came in with the smoke, choked them out, left them hanging from ropes.
Yo, the wolves came to eat, so I'm meal prepping. Ain't no punches getting pulled, suckers should feel threatened. The wrong move and get you buried with your concealed weapon. Don't be fooled by the algorithm, I kill sessions, the ill presence is in the room, you feel a shortness of breath. All I need is a full moon, a mic cord, mic check. I got a full spoon of dope, a head nod is respect. I know fatigue, but I never met the cousin of death. My work ethic possessed, no days off, no rest. You niggas is frauds like a Bernie Madoff check. I do the hiring, the firing, the payoffs, layoffs. If the other side conspiring, we face off, break off, neck shoulders. I never take my cape off, the soldier. Somebody died for me to be a soul stone holder. We playing pity pat, we playing poker. I told you on the last space, if you ain't on track, move over.
Just when you thought it was safe, we came in with the hate, start shitting all over the place.
Just when you thought it was hope, we came in with the smoke, choked them out, left them hanging from ropes.
Just when you thought it was safe, we came in with the hate, start shitting all over the place.
Just when you thought it was hope, we came in with the smoke, choked them out, left them hanging from ropes.
That's what happens when you mix lethal with medicine and bass. It's not a good combination. Good night, folks.
Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. That is a rewindable single, man. Let's talk about it. Main the Medicine is my guest. We're gonna talk about our top 50. It's apples, the oranges. I'm playing off the title apples. Put out that that list that everybody had a problem with, and me and the brother decided to chime in. You know what I'm saying? So introduce yourself first, brother.
Yo, what's going on? It's Main the Medicine. Know what I mean? I'm glad to be here,
Where you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself, man, before we get into the show.
Oh, word. Originally from Queens, New York. Now I mean, I've been out here in PA for like the last 15 years, but you know how it is that New York energy's always in me. You know what I mean?
100%, man. We can hear it in that record, man. Tell us about that record, that single, real quick. It's a new single. Let's talk about it while it's fresh in our heads.
I word. So that's so right there. Those are like my brothers, Will Sully and Legion. Like that's like a 35-year friendship right there. You know what I mean? So you know we me and my man Legion we decided to do an EP together. So the EP is also called Lethal Medicine. So that's the lead single right there featuring Will Sully, and the EP drops uh June 18th, completely all produced by Legion.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's gonna be fire, man. I just want to give you a proper introduction, man. You know what I'm saying? So, welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast again, man. We're doing something different this time, you know, and you're joining me. And thank you, man, for joining me, because a lot of people are talking about this topic. So this is the THHC podcast, episode 198, Apples to Oranges, top first 50 best albums with Maine the Medicine. So what we're going to do here, we're just basically going to break it down, our list, and the artists and albums that we appreciated separately. We're going to do 50 today of each, and then we're going to do another 50 another time, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you joining us. But before we get into anything, you know, it's Friday. Do you listen to new music on Fridays?
Yeah, I do. I do.
You do? Okay. Because, you know, New Music Friday is out. And, you know, I like to give people their shine. You know what I'm saying? When I can. And I can. So, you know, every Friday I try to, like, shout out and give people the rewind. Meaning, like, you know, go check out that album. Like, the first album is Dave East and Mike and Keys are the producers, called Apartment 6B. I think Dave East is you know, he's a good rapper. There's a lot of people who's not his style, but I do like the album. It's a little slow, like it's more calming. So, but it's a good album. I think he's spitting. So I'll give it the rewind. Are you a fan of Dave East?
Yo, Dave East is nice.
Dave East is nice. Number 2 is Andre Desant.
Yeah, Dave East get busy. You know what I mean? So, you know, I appreciate, you know, his lyricism. He grinding too. Like, you know, he got like tons of mixtapes and albums out. You know what I mean? Plus, he from that Nas tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Nas did approve him. Number 2 is Andre Desant. He's a rapper I'm not sure of. I just, you know, heard of him today. But I follow the producer, Machacha. He's always putting out a lot of quality hits. He's a great producer. So he works with a lot of artists that's unknown. Getting your name out there. So shout out to Muchacha. It's called Cult Classic. I listened to it. I give it the rewind. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the artist or the producer. We can move on.
No, but I'm gonna definitely check it out. You know what I mean? Because I appreciate your taste with the music. You know, we kind of cut from the same cloth. So I'll definitely check that out.
No, I appreciate it, man. And the artists appreciate it. Number 3, The Last American B-Boy, another artist I wasn't familiar with, but I'm familiar with the producer, Ron Browse. It's called Rice and Beans. It's another project that gets the rewind, man. Are you familiar with at least Ron Browse?
Oh, of course. You know, that's the Ether Man right there.
Yeah, boy.
That's the Ether Man and Arab money.
yeah. You know exactly what it is. We got number 4 is an artist I've been talking about for a while. He's from Jersey. Stars Coleman. It's called Ivana Ave. That gets the rewind, man. He's one of my favorite artists as well. Lyricists like yourself, man. And this album just came out today too. So number 5, you might know this group, Cooking Soul. And they producers, and they got a EP. It's called Biggie and Kiss Freeze, meaning like freestyles. It's weird. It's like 4 songs. Biggie raps, on the first one, Kiss raps on the second one. I think the other 2 artists, but it's not even. It got only Biggie and Kiss on the first 2 songs, and then it's 2 other artists. I'm like, I don't get this EP, but whatever. Shout out to Cooking Soul. They do Great work. So
I mean, I guess they trying to sell you on the Biggie and the Jada. Yeah, so yeah.
yeah, that's what they're doing. So
I
I mean,
mean, listen, you do what you got to do to get people attention. You know what I mean? So you know.
I'm not gonna give that the rewind because it's okay. It's just like lyrics that I heard before over their beats. I'm not ready for that right now. Let's go to number 6, Spoda and Scumbag Diggs. It's called Hell's Fury. Number 6. I'm a fan of Spoda. A lot of street rap, but if you got the heart for it and you come from that era, you appreciate it a little bit. So Spoda is one of those guys. And speaking of, negative or violent or street music, Dog Pound came back out. So shout out to Dog Pound and Snoop. They on Death Row, the new Death Row. It's called We All We Got. We All We Got. So what do you think about the Dog Pound coming out? I know you know who they are.
I mean, I think it's dope. Like I mean, I hope I hope the music is dope because they always been legends and everything else. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to see him coming back out. You know what I mean? And I saw that they had a project coming out. Plus, watching Corrupt, that's how I saw that Rakim is coming out with an album, and Corrupt is on there too.
Oh, Corrupt's on that one?
Yeah.
I'm about to check it out, man. I'm about to check it out. This one I'm not gonna give the rewind because it's just a lot of. It just sounds like them with newer beats, and maybe I gotta give it another listen. But it's just, sometimes I think the content needs to grow up a little bit, just a little bit. Let's go to, it's an artist I like. He got an EP. His name's Hype, and it's called "Watch the World Burn." That gets the rewind. Number 9 is Crime Apple. I love this artist. And Big Ghost LTD's the producer. It's called Bazooko. Bazooko. Crazy. What do you think about that one?
I didn't hear it yet, but Crime Apple was nice.
Crime Apple's nice.
Yeah, he's definitely nice. Word.
He definitely gets the rewind. I've been following him for a while too, man. And he got a Spanish album that I can't dissect because he's speaking Spanish. And I'm like, and the beats are so fly, and I'm like, damn it. Like I gotta learn Spanish just to break down the album, right? But
yeah. I was gonna say, it's crazy is because I'm half Puerto Rican. Like my dad, was Puerto Rican. I can't speak a lick of Spanish.
I thought you were gonna help me.
Nah, man.
All right, the last album is Odyssey, and it's called And Yet Still. I don't know if you're familiar with the band Odyssey. It's a group. Well, it's not even a group. It's I think it's one guy. I think. I feel
like I heard the name before, but maybe that's something I need to go check out.
I'm just getting in tune with him. This is the second album I've heard from him, but so far so good. It gets the rewind, man. Let's go to the next segment before we get into the juice, the meat and potatoes. Just real quick. We're gonna do fact checker news, man. We're gonna do happy birthdays, man. It's happy birthday. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, of course, right? We got Brooke Shields, Clint Eastwood, DMC from Run DMC, Waka Flocka Flame, Colin Farrell, Nate Robinson, basketball player.
Yeah.
And shout out to any birthdays, man. Hey, cutie. Hey.
Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi. I like this organic stuff. You're not the first one to have a kid on the show, man. Don't worry about it.
I know they just bum. She was asleep. They just bum rushing me, like.
Don't worry about it. The only anniversary album birthday that I saw today was BDP by All Means Necessary. That's so happy birthday to that album.
Oh, and, word.
Of course, that album gets the rewind. You know what I'm saying? So that's fact checker news. Now, are you ready for the show, man? Let's get into the show. Let's see what the guys saying in the chat real quick before we start it up. It's my son's born day today. It's your son, man, Ben Frank.
Oh, word. Happy born day.
Yeah, happy born day, man. All right, man, we got to get into the show, man. I'm gonna record it. I record the meat and potatoes on the audio version too. So let me just start that up real quick. But yeah, we're gonna get into it, man. So this is the so let me start it first. Hold on. All right. So this is the THHC podcast, episode 198. Apples to Oranges, top first 50 best albums with Maine the Medicine and his beautiful daughter. As well. But Vince says it's love and respect. That's what's up, man. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. This is how I did it. So basically, what I did was I did the albums that we kind of had in common. So guys, if y'all just joining us, if y'all listen to this, we're gonna do 100 albums a piece. But today we're gonna do 50 a piece. So we're gonna do another show because this can get long. Pause. All right. So the albums below. Okay.
Oh my bad. I just want to say, listen, this is me and your list. We not saying it's perfect. We not saying it's the granddaddy of them all. We just saying like this is our list. So like, it maybe a lot of stuff that maybe a lot of stuff that we love that got left off. You know what I mean? But like this is maybe it inspires somebody else to make their list. You know what I mean? So we not trying to say this is it. We just saying this is our list. Two guys coming together for the love of music, making our own list.
100%, and that's a great way to put it. So the first 20 albums, the ones that we kind of had in common. So I'm gonna get those out the way. We're gonna talk about them. So I'll say the first one, you say the second one. We'll just keep going back and forth and talk about each album, but not too long, of course, because a lot of people know these albums are pretty much classic. They they don't need a lot of explaining. The first one is I'm gonna start it off is Slick Rick, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick, man. And if you guys haven't heard this one yet, man, you guys are doing yourself a disservice. It is just one of the top albums in hip hop that came out that was different. This guy's from, where's he from?
England.
England, right? We never heard we heard voices like that. We never heard an English, rapper at the time.
I used to think he was making it up. You know what I mean? Like
you thought he was making a voice, doing a voice.
A word.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, he says he's from UK. Everybody in the chat, they call fact checkers. So like they tell us if we don't know something. So we can keep on going on with the show. But yeah, what do you think about Slick Rick? Or you want to go to the next album?
Nah, I'll talk about Slick Rick. Like he's the one that set the standard for storytelling. You know what I'm saying? Like, his storytelling is top notch, and to like be doing that, back then. You know what I'm saying? So like I think Slick Rick is slept on. Plus, like when you talk about rappers that was fly, like Slick Rick, like what I mean. Slick Rick can go at it with Mr. T with the chains, like what I mean. Like Slick Rick was fly with the Kango and everything, rocking the valleys and all. Man,
no, 100%. He was fly, man. He was fly as hell, man. Let's talk about the second album. Because if we won't, if you talk about, we could talk about Slick Rick forever, of course. We could talk about all these albums, for a whole episode. But we got 50, well, actually 100 albums to list, so we don't want to be stuck on that. The Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die, man. Of course, this is his first album. I was following Biggie Smalls when he was talking about Party and Bullshit. That was his first single. And I remember playing that one over and over and over. And I said, this guy's going to be a star. There's something about this guy. He's going to be a star. And they made him a star. He was a star. And it's because of his lyricism and his wordplay. Talk about Biggie Smalls, man, the first album.
All right, so with Big, too, Big was a beast lyrically, but also his storytelling was great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then kind of that, I don't know, like that squeakiness in his voice. You know what I mean? Like when he told a story, it's like it gave a comedic part to it, but it was still serious. Like he telling you he about to bust you in your head, like, you know what I mean? But but like he'll say something funny along with it with the story. So like I love Big for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you did keep it humorous and fun. Because what's what hip hop is? It started off being fun, then it got creative, it got a little
Yeah.
conscious, it got a little pockets of everything. And Biggie, accomplished all that in his rhyme. Speaking of somebody with great storytelling and dope album, number 3 is Nas Illmatic. We agreed on that. What can you say about that? A lot of people say this is the best album period in the world. A lot of people, so it's got to be in our top 100.
Uh,
What do you think about Nas
see,
Illmatic? About it?
I'm biased. I'm biased. That's my favorite rapper. So you know what I mean. Him and Redman. So it's like to me, Nas can't do no wrong. You know what I mean? Like, but that album was like a whole nother world right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, what's this dude? What? Like, you know what I mean? Like to come out and have like all the older heads like, this yo, this young dude is you know what I mean? And then to have the production that he had, like to be in the studio with Q-Tip, Pete Rock, Primo, you know what I'm saying? LES, like to be in the studio with all of them and do a classic like that, you know what I mean? It was yeah, she want to feed me. Yeah, you know what I mean? It was amazing. Like I love that's one of the albums that's short and sweet, because the album I think is only like maybe like 39 minutes, I think, or something like that. 35 minutes, something. Yeah,
But that's when the records were like 3.5, 4 minutes though.
yeah.
3.5 minutes, so it was a good record. Each song was a good record. It was a good, you know what I mean? It wasn't like 2-minute records, 1.5 minute record. So imagine that. It would have been like freaking 15 minutes or something like that.
Word.
Let's talk about number 4, Fuji, the score.
Oh man.
Well,
Well,
a lot of people always go to Lauryn Hill. Of course, Lauryn Hill's probably on this list, but the Fugees, man, come on, man. That started everybody's career, and they got it right as a group on that album.
all right. I feel like this album. I feel like the Fugees album is one of the greatest albums made,
Yeah,
because you can listen to that whole album all the way through, because it plays out like an actual movie. You know what I mean? Like even with the skits. So it's like you just deep in it. As you listening to it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like just everything they did with it. Like having what they got talent in it. You know what I mean? Going at it with the Chinese man in the Chinese store and stuff like that. Like it's all stuff that you could relate to, and
yeah.
I feel like everybody got busy. Like, of course,
Pras
even Plies.
got busy.
Yeah,
I tell people, Pras got busy, man.
Prize is a victim of his voice,
Yeah.
of the way he flowed. That's who he's a victim of. Like, because when you listen to his lyrics, Prize is getting busy. You know what I mean? But it's his flow or what it. But on this album, it meshed well. Like, you can listen to it.
Yeah.
Like at that time, I can't listen to an all Prize album, but on that album, he fits well, and I think Wyclef bodied it too. You know what I mean? Like real animated too. Like Wyclef is.
No, Wyclef bodied it, man. So like I give if you see my review on that album, I give everybody praise, even Pras. I be like, yo, Pras killed so and so on this album, or both. Like it's certain songs that Pras like did well on. You know what I'm saying? And was shining.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I gotta give him that, man. Let's talk about one of our favorite artists. Next is Redman, Muddy Waters, man. Number 5 is Redman, Muddy Waters. Man, that's what I say about Redman. Like I said, he's one of my favorites too. Like you and I've been, I could probably put at least 3 or 4 albums in this list, but I didn't do that. But Muddy Waters is probably my favorite. He kind of like did a lot in that album. It was kind of like a movie too, in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Jeff says real quick, crazy story. Nas said he lost Illmatic notebook somewhere. He had to write it all over again with better lyrics. That's crazy. But talk
Yeah,
about
I heard that too.
you heard that? I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Talk about Redman. Redman. We on Redman right now.
Well, Redman, I don't know if you remember. So now, my two favorite rappers of all time is Nas and Redman, and I hate to say one and two, so I say 1A and 1B. You know what I mean? So because Redman, I remember like hip hop was so dope back in the days. Like you could be just like sitting around, and that was when the box was out. If y'all remember the box, and I remember all of a sudden, you know, I remember all of a sudden I was like, "What's this?" It was like a little sample video, and he was like, "I got it going on. Who's up next to Flex? You could bet I drop it." And I was like, "What?" And like when you see that, you get hyped. Like, "Oh shit!" Like, is he coming out? What's happening? Like, you know, because you heard him on EPMD's album. You know what I mean, and everything. So like, you know, so it's like, oh snap! Like he's coming out because you know. Back in the days, there was a lot of artists that we loved that tried to like put out other artists, and you get hyped, and then you never see them again. You know what I mean? But then when Redman came out, it was like, oh, okay. And then when Blow Your Mind came out, you knew it was over. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
no, 100%, man. Ben says, love the jukebox classic ASL, yo. So you know about it too, man. Let's go to next record, which is 6, and 6 is Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt.
yeah,
Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. This is the first album Jay-Z came out with. I remember this whole thing. I remember Nas came out with it. Was written at the same day or around the same week or something like that. Maybe a week later. And I remember buying. I think Nas first. I think he came out first, and I think
I think Jay came out like the end of June, and not. Yeah, and then Nas, I think, came out like 2-3 weeks later in July or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it was like close. The range, the way we listened to music was close. So I remember listening to Nas and going crazy about it. And then when this Jay-Z album came out, I put Nas down and forgot about it. I ain't gonna lie. It was that big of a deal with that album. Talk about Jay-Z and that album.
Well, that album, Jay was mad witty on that album, like. And his flow, the way he rapped too was crazy. It was like it's something with Jay and Big and even Redman. Like they had a lot of little like comedic little lines that made you laugh. Like like you know what I mean? Like that was part of their charisma. You know what I'm saying? And then you know for some people that didn't know, and then that was dope for Jay because. We knew Jay from rapping with Jazzo, and then recently, before Reasonable Doubt, when he was on Original Flavor joint, Can I Get Open? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you was used to the fast stuff, and then when he came, some stuff he did a little fast, but he kind of changed up his flow, and he was talking about the money and the fly shit and everything, and it was like, yo. This album is, you know what I mean? Like, I remember when I got it, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And I heard some people talking about it. You know, like, back then, the buzz don't get around right away because you had to go off a radio and word of mouth. Like, there wasn't like now when somebody drop an album, 20 people are going on Facebook right away and be like, oh, it's dope or it's trash. Like, you had to listen to albums on your own. You know what I mean? You had to listen to albums and dissect them on your own. Look at pull out the insert. Look at the producers.
Yeah, I could pull one out now. I could do that now with the tapes, man. Like this is day to day. You know, it got everything in here. You know, and then you turn it around. Got all the who he's thinking. You know, sometimes it has the lyrics. Depends on it. And you have to chat with these for a long time.
And then sometimes when you read in the insert, that's how you end up knowing the artist that comes out a couple of years later, and you be like, "Whoa, I know that name." And you go back and you be like, "Oh snap, they was on so and so album." You know what I mean?
No,
you know, so
and welcome Triborough. Triborough is a hip hop legend in the game. Knows a lot about hip hop, man. I actually started podcasting with him, and he's a king. He's one of my kings, man. So shout out to Triborough, man. What's up, man?
Well, salute, fam, salute,
man. Yes, Dead President is epic. Was we talking about Dead President? Original flavor, yep.
Yeah. That was I think that was the first single. I'm out for presidents to represent.
Yeah. I said Dead Presidents. I'm thinking about Dead Presidents, the group. I'm like, was we talking about Dead Presidents? But I get the song Dead Presidents. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. But let's get into number where we at? We're at number 7, which is Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links, man.
Oh my God.
Purple tape. Come on, man. That's all you gotta say.
That's it.
The purple tape. People know what's up. Like
that changed my summer right there, bro.
This album was a Ghostface collaboration in a sense. It was like a, just like with Iron Man, they did. It's like a group album, kind of, a dual album. In a sense.
Yeah.
What about Raekwon Purple Tape? What you thinking about it?
Yo, when that first came, like number one, when you first got it, and it was purple, it was like, yo, like you know what I mean?
Did that before. Maybe a red tape or like a solid, or maybe a clear tape. I don't know. It was the solid tapes, and then it was clear, and then they started putting color.
Yeah. So the two albums I remember with Red is Redman and Illegal. Illegal tape was Red. But yeah. But with Raekwon, yo, that album, when you put that on, it was like it took me a minute to get through it because after I heard certain songs, I'm like, oh, I gotta rewind that shit back. You know what I mean? And here's the thing, back then with albums, you were surprised. Like they would have an article before they came out, but sometimes they would have an article after it came out.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you didn't even know who was going to be on the album. That's when albums is great, when it was surprise. You're like, oh shit, Redman, Nas is on there? What?
Yeah.
Oh snap, so what? You know what I mean? Like that's when you got surprised with stuff. Now you know who's going to be on the album before it even dropped. You know what I mean? And stuff. I get it now because, people, you want people to get it. But back then, like that tape, that's all you heard that summer. That's all you heard that summer was I felt bad for anybody else that dropped that summer because you didn't get that much love. You know what I mean?
No play, man.
Word.
I remember copping Cuban Link from Columbia House back in '95. Remember Columbia House? And was that the one you buy 12 albums for a penny and you robbed them people? Was that Columbia House or that was something else? Yeah,
because you're supposed to guarantee to buy a album at full price later or something like that, Yeah. Well,
I was like, cancel.
So for me, like we had the Circus Cities and all of that.
Yeah.
The Wiz.
Yep.
But I want to shout out Hot Wax. Hot Wax. If you from New York or from definitely from Queens, y'all know Jamaica Avenue, and Jamaica Avenue had a record store that sold all the. Sometimes you can get the shit like a week early. You know what I mean? But that was Hot Wax, and and Tempest. I don't know if y'all remember the group, the Flatliners. Tempest from the Flatliners worked at Hot Wax. So that's why when Flatliners came out, everybody like knew Tempest because all like rappers, Onyx and all them used to hang out by Hot Wax and all that. You know what I mean? So I want to shout them out because that's where I used to go buy, most of my albums from. You know what I mean? So.
We gotta move on because we got 100 albums. I'm not trying to rush you, but we got 100 albums, man. No,
I get it. Listen.
Number 8 is Raw Digga, Dirty Harry. I was surprised to see this on your list. I always champion this album, not just because she's a female, but when people ask, "Is there a female classic album?" I thought it was Raw Digga automatically. Raw Digga was fresh, raw. Yeah, she was hungry. She was spitting better than Busta Rhymes back then. You know what I'm saying? Like Raw Digga, that album Dirty Harry's fire. Tell me about Dirty Harry and Raw Digga.
I was just about to say that, like, not too many regular MCs can hold a candle or stand up with Busta. But Rod Digger, you know what I mean? She was right there with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she, you know, like that album was so dope. I know it came out a little later than she wanted it to, but when it dropped, like that
But
album was amazing. Then
she
the
was the first
same,
one. If you read the story, because I read the story, I was doing my research. She wasn't supposed to be the first one to drop a solo. She bullied her way to get that solo album first. And you gotta think about it, a lot of them football squad dudes never got to release a solo, so she's lucky. Let's put it that way.
I mean,
Digga.
Only one that dropped, I think, before her was Rampage, I think. And you know, Ramp already had a name for himself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so
salute to the outsiders, of course. That whenever Rod Digger, she's part
oh
of
yes. Outsiders don't get enough.
Back then, like I knew her when she was in the Outsiders, and then when I researched it, she was in another group, a female group, her and some girl before that, before the Outsiders. Like I got it all in it's all on film. Go check it out. But crazy, man. But salute to the Outsiders, man. They still rock.
Salute. They don't get enough credit neither.
It's got some potential. Yeah, Rod Digger, she could be a superstar. I don't know what's up with her, man. She gotta be. You know what they did another Flip Mode Squad album and they're sitting on it.
I know, and I think it's like the new Flip Mode, and I think the conglomerate, and they together,
Busta Rhymes, man, I can't mess with this dude. His album suck.
Yeah,
Busta Rhymes, you watching your album suck. That shit was trash. You should have put out the Flip Mode Squad album. You whack. You know
that last one was nowhere there. Like he shouldn't have rushed it because the one before that was crazy. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
ELE2 was crazy, you know.
And then he come up with this I guess I'm gonna call it radio trash. That's what it is. Let's go to number 9 is Dr. Dre, The Chronic. A lot of people got this on their list, man. Shout out to Dr. Dre. He was in his bag. Yeah. He did steal a lot from Above the Law. He stole a lot from Above the Law and all them groups over there and got the funk element. And he never gives credit, but it was Above the Law and a couple other people from the West that had that sound before he did, especially Above the Law. I just remember them. But shout out to Dr. Dre. He did put together a great album, The Chronic. It's got to be on there. What about you?
Yeah, hell yeah. That's a all-star album. Like Corrupt spit some of his best bars on that. You know what I mean? Snoop, like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like for us being from the East, when we delve into it got to be something special. You know what I mean? So like WA, Cube, and then with Sonic, and you know what I mean? Like that's when you was like, damn, shit crazy. You know what I mean? You couldn't do nothing but love it. You know.
It's funny because this is, Triborough says The Chronic is timeless album. I still bump it. Now, let me tell you something, everybody that's listening. I still bump every album I'm going to mention every year. Every year, I bump every album at least one time. So they're classics to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got to say. So if you ain't bumping the album every year, it's not a classic.
Yep.
I'm just saying, like, I just be like, oh, let me listen to Nas. Oh, let me listen to Rod Digger. And I just do it. I don't go, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, you know.
And yo, let me say one thing real quick. I hope there's a lot of young dudes watching this, because I think in a way that's what's wrong with hip hop a little bit, because they didn't study the class before them. They worried about what they doing now, but we all students of it. So even like with our list, Nas, Big, J, all of them, like, but we still studied the Run DMC, Curtis Blows, and all of that. Like we learned, we knew what that was. You know what I'm saying? And then like the class after us with the Jadas and the Fabulous and all of them, they study Nas, and you know what I mean? Like, this is how it is. You gotta know your hip hop. Like, some of them are rocking on beats that they think is brand new, and they don't know that beat been flipped and tossed a couple of times already. You know what I mean?
there's these TikTok people that do that all the time. They do videos of acting like, you know, it's this song, but then it's this song, and it's two people in the car, like a young and an older person, and you know, they think it's like, I don't know, Biggie Smalls, but it's like the original song or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of people don't know their history, man. Let's talk about more history. Number 10 is NWA, Straight Outta Compton, man. When this first came out, Lord have mercy. Of course, it was controversy. You know, their name was controversy. The song they were spitting was controversy. Everything was controversy. But we loved it, man. We was, you know, sneak and listen to it if we couldn't listen. You know what I'm saying? My mothers and fathers wasn't letting us. We were sneaking to listen to this stuff, man. And it changed the culture a lot in the West Coast and gave West Coast a lot of respect. Shout out to NWA Straight Outta Compton, number 10.
Yo, shout out to them speaking their mind, you know, that back in the time where they could have got shut down, you know what I mean? Like there was times that they was threatened by the cops, do not perform, fuck the police, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll do it anyway, like, yo, you know what I mean? Like,
they did 100%. And that's you got to give them props, because I listen to TK Kirtland a lot, and he used to be on tour with them as a comedian, open up for NWA. And he talks about a lot of the stories, man. It's crazy, man. I gotta, you know, shout out to TK Kirtland and NWA and everybody that was touring, because it was a mixture of different talents, and they was doing touring. It was dope, I heard. Let's go to 11, which is Wu-Tang Clan, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers. Come on.
Oh man.
Even the songs that sounded distorted, not finished, or whatever people want to call them, was still dope. They're still classic. Man, Wu-Tang, that album, I play that album way more than one time a year. So talk about Wu-Tang, man, for you.
Number one, I play that album at least, at least 10 times a year. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have it in the car and be rocking it. Like, yo, that's another album you can listen all the way through. You know what I mean? Like, all the way through. And you know what was ill about that is, like, in the 90s, there was so many groups that came out with like one hit or something like that, like, you know, and when you saw them, you thought like, damn, this shit dope, but this is gonna be like, because the video was low budget, everything, and but you like, yo, these dudes is nice, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was no budget, because that video looked like they shot it from a 1952 camera or something, you know?
Word. And then it's like, but I think the fact that, you know, like RZA and Jizza had already like put out something kind of helped carry it. So then when they dropped the Method Man, I'm like, oh, all right, what's going on here? Like, you know what I mean? It's like bunch of grungy niggas. They ain't even fly. None of this shit. You know, they just spit. And it's like they woke up and just threw on shit. And they like, yo, it's all about the bars. You know what I mean? And then after a while, when people start, then how I knew it was real, that's one of the best days in hip hop, because when that album dropped the same day as Midnight Marauders, and when I went to the store to get that shit, it was like a fight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I was worried about Midnight Marauders selling out. I get there, the Wu shit is gone.
Yeah. Yo. Because I remember going
there was a mother in like the Wiz with a couple of CDs, and she had that, and I heard her tell whoever she was with that it was for her son. I swear, yo, once she turned away, I snatched that. I snatched that right out the cart, and I had that. I had that with my Midnight Marauders, and I was out. So, you know,
yeah, man. Yo, they did come out. I like this conversation, man, because you're bringing up stuff that I forgot, and it's bringing up memories that I'm happy about. Ben Frank says, respect. Yeah. What's up? Of course, all day. Respect the dealer. Let's go to number 12. Mobb Deep, the infamous, of course, the first album. No, it's the second album. They got it right the second time. They got it right the second time.
Even though. Stop. The first album had joints though.
No.
You know what I mean?
It did, but the
I
single
know, and
was on the album.
yeah. And then if you notice, if you look at the old, if you look at the old videos and stuff, you know, Large Pro produced some of it, but when you look at the old videos, like Illa G was in the video, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, you know, and that hit it from the back was like a nice little, you know, little joint to rock when you in
Yeah, they hit it
school.
from the back.
But when they came with this album, when they came with Shook Ones,
It's like, yo, what
it was
happened?
like
The
words.
transition was incredible. The transition.
It was like they sipped some Henny and put down the 40, like, oh, all right, we need to go this way. Like,
yeah, like they got some new medicine. They made the medicine. They got some new medicine.
Word.
Before we go on to the next one, what is a classic album to you? You just said no skippables, so I'm not sure if that plays a factor to you. Name a classic album to you. Describe it.
A classic album is like, so out of 13 tracks, every track ain't gonna be one of your favorites. But if it's one where you can leave it on and not be like, nah, I gotta skip this one. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing, I'm not gonna be selfish. The one or two tracks that's not my favorite is somebody else's favorite. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So if we all come together and agree that these 6 joints is crazy, but the one that I'm like, yo, that one is high, and somebody be, yo, that one is crazy. It's like, listen, I still like it. It ain't my favorite. It's his favorite, but it's doing something. So like that's a classic. When you got to keep listening to it, and you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is, oh, let me put this shit on. That, you know what I mean? Like you got one. Like a classic don't always have to be all the way through, but when it is all the way through, like that's a perfect classic. Like that Mob album, I can listen to that all the way through as well. You know,
insane, man. And I think I could, yeah, like you said, I think I agree with you on that. I think you can have maybe. I don't think you can have any skippables unless it's a long album. Say it's like, you know, back in the day, it was like 20 songs, 21 records. You might have 1 or 2 skippables on that to balance, you know what I mean? Nothing too crazy. And it might be still classic. But I ain't gonna lie, like I like listening to albums throughout. I don't care if they're 20 songs, 10 songs. I gotta listen to. I don't care if it's the interlude. I gotta love it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Prodigy, man. But I just want to get your opinion on that. Let's go to number 13, Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, man. This came out. Everybody was saying it might be better than the Chronic. It was so crazy. It hyped up. It holds its own. You know, Snoop Dogg. If he had writers or not back then, I think it was pure. I think it was him actually writing back then, and it was just organic, and it was dope, man. So talk about Snoop Dogg and Dogg.
So with that, I believe Snoop wrote it, but like, so this is what I think might have happened with like the Chronic and even like Doggy Style. Like, if I'm an MC, everything's riding on me. This got to be a classic. You know what I mean? And I'm writing it. You know what I mean? And then Corrupt or somebody over there like, yo, you should do a hook like da 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 da, and be like, oh, that shit's fly. You know what I mean?
Oh no, they Ghost wrote their own stuff, because you got to think about it. If you remember the studio sessions, they said making a Chronic and making Doggy Style, it was probably less than a week, probably like 3 days, 4 days to make each album. Like they was just all in the studio. They didn't leave. They slept there, pissed there, had sex there, washed their balls there. They stayed there, smoked weed, had different girls in. I understand that culture because I was living in that culture. So if I was in the studio, I could imagine not leaving and just rapping.
Yeah, and then like, you know, everybody throwing out ideas and stuff like that. Like, you know, that don't take away from the greatness of Snoop. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure he pinned them. Yeah, I'm sure he pinned them those verses. You know what I mean, and everything, and his delivery. You know what I'm saying? Like he has such a, like, you knew he was from the West, but he had such a like laid back, confident swag. It was crazy. Like, and you saw it even on Deep Cover. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the way he was, like, you know. And then that album, like, I didn't think I would like that album, and then when I listened to it, I'm like, yo, I can't put this album down.
Yeah,
like,
put it down,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? Word.
You know what I'm saying? When it comes on and dudes in the bath, all that, man, just everything. Let's go to the album that kind of started this controversy. You know, Apple had, you know, Lauryn Hill, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and they're #1. It's a great album. I really think it's a great album. It's a great hip hop, R&B mixed with reggae, mixed with everything. It's just a great blended album. I love the album. I love that, and that's why it's on my list and yours. So, did you think it should deserve one, and then talk about Lauryn Hill's album?
So it wouldn't have been my one, but it would definitely be in my top 10. But I wasn't mad at it. You know what I mean? Because it's a great album. We love Lauryn. So, and it's an album that came out, 20-something years ago. So for young and old and everybody to agree, this is, you know, I wasn't mad at that. Because it'll make people go listen to something that's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in a world full of bullshit music. You know what I mean? But yeah, like when that album came out, I remember I loved it. I mean, I loved it. I wanted more rapping, but I couldn't even get mad at what was there. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, yo, like, she's showcasing both sides, like, you know what I mean? And it was like, you know, you found yourself singing those joints, like, you know, like that thing she killed. Like, overall, her singing joints kind of, I think, kind of about, yeah. Even though, you know,
Zion's one of my favorite songs.
Oh, Zion, oh my God, what's my X Factor? Oh man, because X Factor sampled the Wu-Tang joint.
Oh yeah,
yeah, doom. You know what I mean? So that was crazy. The joint with D'Angelo, the joint with Mary, like, oh man, it was like.
Now she did a thing. I gotta give it to her, and you know,
you know, hold on, you know, even you know who's playing piano on that album, and I think he's doing some background. John Legend.
Oh no way! Back in the day.
Yeah, just like on the Fuji album, you know, Akon is on the Fuji's album.
Akon's, yeah, I remember that one. I got researched that. That's crazy. I like this. Is what I'm saying. That's why I like talking about this stuff, because it ain't just naming albums. It's, you know, we got memories with these things. We got a timeline that these rappers, you know, they born us. They grew us up. They were our teachers, our professors, right?
Yeah.
Number 15, another great album, Common B. Man, I thought he was.
Yeah. I thought
he was washed up. I ain't gonna lie, a little bit, man. He was kind of not really resonating with me when he came up with B with Kanye West.
Yo, like, Kanye, incredible. Kanye brought Common. Okay, so Common is one of those. I love Common. Common is in my top 10 of MCs, right? Mm-hmm. So when I interview, I'm a fan to a fault. I'm the type that I'll listen to your work album and try the best of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You are like, somebody be like, you're that so-and-so album trash. I'll be like, nah, some joints. And in my mind, I know it ain't top, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna fight with you. So like, before that, Electric Circus is where he went down. He went too long, like he said. You know what I mean? But I can't lie to Jerry, Come Close. That's one of my favorite records. I love that record.
No, I'm not gonna say that. No joints like on some of those albums prior to this. It was just like it was the Erykah Badu, you know, curse. I believe we call it. You know.
And then him.
The good booty, the good stank, man. They make you do a lot.
Yeah, but the good stank worked on like chocolate. You know what I mean? That was a classic. But Electric when Electric Circus he hooked up with Pharrell, and I don't think it was time to put them two together yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
that was
Pharrell did a lot of the album. Yeah. But then
the album Pharrell did recently that I found out he did, and I'm like, damn, you messed that up too. Like I ain't gonna get Pharrell. He's not one of my favorite producers, but he's okay. He's good. He's good. He got his moment. You know, he got his moment. Let's talk about
but Kanye brought Common back on that album, like, and not only did he bring him back, like he made Common a star, like he took him to the next level.
Yeah.
And I feel like Common's been trending right there ever since, because the one that came after was dope too. So yeah, but we can move on.
Yeah, and Common, you got the album with Pete Rock coming soon, so we're excited about that. So shout out to Pete Rock and Common. Number 16 is GZA, Liquid Swords, man. This is one of my favorite albums, period. Not just from the Wu-Tang, but period. I love GZA. This is an incredible artist, man. The head of Voltron, talk about Liquid Swords, GZA, man.
Oh man, Liquid Swords is crazy. And I remember, like, sometime I remember where I'm at when I heard certain songs. I remember where I was going. And I remember I was like with an ex or something, and we was going to like in the Bronx. They have a place called City Island. It's literally like a little island with just nothing but seafood spots, right?
Yep.
And I remember the DJs was playing they put on labels. You know what I mean? When he was talking about, you know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, like, yo. And it's like, even though Wu had blew up, I didn't know if everybody from there was going to get a chance to put out an album.
To get that
15 minutes. So like I'm hit. Yeah, so I heard that record almost a year and a half before Liquid Swords came out. So when it came out and that was on there, I was like, oh, yeah, that's another album all the way through. All the way through. There's no
the skits.
There's no skip. No.
And the kids and the baby and the sword and all that stuff.
Yep.
Like, come on, man. Just ridiculous, man. I could talk about GZA all day. Like I said, I think it's one of my favorite Wu-Tang albums. A matter of fact, with Tri-Borough was on here earlier. We did a breakdown of all our favorite Wu-Tang albums. I can't remember the where it fit, but GZA was probably in the top 5, I would think. For albums for Wu-Tang and everybody. Let's go to
definitely.
Number 17 is one of the first R&B artists that we agreed on. Sade, Diamond Life. Let's talk about Diamond Life, Sade. I love her. I had a 45 records, man. I had the 45 records, dog. You know what I'm saying? With the little Sade, those sides, different sides. You know what I mean? Madonna and all them people. But yeah, Sade, beautiful voice, beautiful songs. Look, what else can you say about Sade, man? And I had a question for you.
All right, so for me, which I think was a gift for me is like my mom was the oldest out of her sisters, but they all had kids before her. So I'm like the youngest out of all the cousins, me and my sister. So I got a chance. All these records was coming into the crib, getting played, and I had to hear these songs and stuff all over and over. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was like, oh man, that joint is crazy. Like I was hearing the song and didn't even know who it was at the time. You know what I mean? And then when I finally saw a video, I'm like, oh, she's gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like, word.
Sade is gorgeous, man. She's still gorgeous. So shout out to Sade, man. Oh yeah, Sade and Doom album collab. It was somebody that put that together. It's on YouTube. It's fire. Go listen to that. Sade and Doom. They mix it. They collaborate. Doom rapping on Sade. It's freaking crazy. And then sometimes like she's saying.
Well, I can see it.
It's crazy.
I can see it because he kind of got that slow flow. You know what I mean? So and they go with her.
Doom, you know what I'm saying? Doom.
Yep.
Another great artist. Let's go to number 18, TLC, Crazy Sexy Cool. Best album ever made. I'm so pissed that they got shorted, they got robbed, and you know, this album is so incredible. They won billions of awards. Love the album, no skips. Everything was dope. TLC, Crazy Sexy Cool. Who was your favorite? You know, I love T-Bars, but you know, because of the singing and she was fly.
Yo, mine's was too. You know what I mean? Like I love them all, but it was something about T-Bars. Like she wasn't the illest singer, but like her voice was so sexy. Like, you know what I mean? You know, it was just like it was a perfect combination of them together.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It was amazing. You know.
No, 100%. I love TLC. I hope they get their respect back, their money back, or whatever, because they owed a lot of money. And you know, I'm not even gonna get into that. You know, because you know I don't want to go downhill. Let's go to number. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that album sold like I think like what 15 million copies or something. It might be more now, but
yeah, something insane, and they still ain't getting paid from it. But,
I know.
I'm just
goddamn Pebbles.
That's the I didn't want to name no names anyway. Let's go to number 19, Michael Jackson, Thriller. Now it's funny because I was listening to Bad or Thriller. I was trying to say which one am I put on here. I could put both, but I'm like, yo, let me put it's the first album I want to put on here. It's Thriller. I went back to both a lot of his albums, and I said Thriller stands out, man. It just every cut, you know, I'm going bananas.
So for me, my two was between Thriller and Off the Wall, because both of them is straight listen all the way through.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like, you know.
Yeah, Off the Wall. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, but Thriller, I think Thriller changed everybody's life. You know what I'm saying? Like it you know, it was just I don't know. I've never heard nobody say Thriller is a whack album. Like, and if they are, they capping. You know, I've never, you know.
Dave Chappelle said, you know, when he was on, you know, doing that skit of everybody on trial, R. Kelly, Michael, everybody, and they was like, yo, we got all the evidence against Michael. Is he guilty? He goes, he couldn't say no. He was like, he made Thriller, man. He made Thriller. Like, basically, you can't do no wrong if he made Thriller. Yo, he says, love Sade. Mike Jack is the GOAT, of course. Off the Wall is my shit. Let's talk about the last album before I let you loose on your 10. You know, so we agreed on number 20 is Prince, Purple Rain, man. Listen, like you said about your moms and stuff like that. My mom's the oldest sister too. She was, and she's still in love with Prince. You know, R.I.P. to Prince. But she was when I say Prince fan, every vinyl. I got her vinyl on my desk right here. You ain't getting the vinyls back now. But anyway,
so around the time,
all these instruments and you know what I'm saying? And he sung like he's dope. He was dope. Talk about Prince, man.
And then all the people he wrote for, but like so around the time when Purple Rain came out, you know, like we were shorties, you know what I mean? And I didn't realize until later how many albums he had out before that. Like this dude, I think right now he has like 35 albums or something like that. Like,
yeah, it's incredible.
Like, you know, oh man, it's crazy. But like Purple Rain, like the movie, like who puts out a movie and an album together? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like his own, almost his own soundtrack. You know what I mean? And it's crazy all the way through. Like with Purple Rain and Thriller, not only the hits that made it out are crazy, but there's songs on there that you like, damn, this should have been a hit. The whole album could have came out being a hit.
No, 100%. All right, now we in the top. We in the program where I'm gonna shoot off your 10, and I'm gonna let you talk. You got 10 records. You can see them down here. What do I gotta say them? These are
I can see them.
All right, so these are the ones we just talked about. All right, the list is down here. I can name them if you want. So this is Main and Medicine's next 10. So 21 to 30. So your 21 to 30 albums. It starts off with Eric B. and Rakim. That's the rhythm.
Yeah. Oh man, like that's
Let's talk about your 10.
that album.
The floor is yours right now. You got the 10. You got your 10 right. Hello? Oh, he just. Oh man, he lost him. He lost him. He gotta come back. He had the kids. Kids probably logged them off. Hit a button or something. All right, we'll get him back. But yeah, that's his 10 below. We'll wait till he comes back. We'll take him off the screen until he comes back. Hopefully he comes back. For the time being, let me talk about some of these albums. I like Dave East again. The Machacha, he just full of surprises on these beats. Last American B-Boy, again, I didn't know nothing about him, but Ron Browse, I like him. All right, he's back. Okay. All right. So I don't have to okay.
Yeah,
right,
my bad.
The kids probably
I think my daughter hit something,
All right, let me get back to your joints. Hold on.
Oh, so we saw about Let the Rip. So like with Rakim, it's like okay, so that was the era of us loving Run DMC, who was dope, Curtis Blow, and the you know what I mean? And but when Ra came, it was like everybody else was like fighting with pocket knives, and he came in with the samurai swords. You know what I mean? And then to be so lyrical and palm, and then don't even curse. But you didn't even notice. You didn't even notice.
So much. I don't know. I thought he cursed.
Word.
No cursing.
And he was fly too. Always had the ill. You know what I mean? And just effortless. You know what I mean? Oh man.
He's still fly. You see him now. He still be fly, man. You know what I'm saying? The Rock Kid.
Yep, right there, the guard.
You want to read them and just keep going line, or should I read the next one? I don't want you to. I'd rather you. You got 2022 is new edition. Any Heartbreak.
Oh yeah. So now when it comes to R&B, like high and rap, Nas and Red, my favorite, New Edition is my all time favorite group. You know what I mean? My all-time favorite group, and that album, that's another album you can listen through to the whole joint. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's that album, that's when they threw Big Johnny Gill in there, and it just it worked. You didn't know if it was gonna now we see the back stuff that went on, but before then, because there was no internet and all that, it just meshed well. It was they threw a whole new member in there, and it's they didn't skip a beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
And Can You Stand the Rain is it's an everlasting track. It plays in every movie, years and years on. You know what I mean? So.
Shout out to New Edition. Shout out to Boston artists. Shout out to Orchard Park, where they were born. That's where my family's from. I grew up with them a little bit, and used to break dance with them and stuff. Long story, but my uncle was down with them. He was kind of in the group, but he dropped out because of laziness. That's what you get, kids, being lazy. All right, so your next one, you want me to keep reading them, or you want to read them? I don't. We didn't get the format yet.
The next one, because I can see it. Number 23, Eric B. and Rakim, Follow the Leader. Man, that was another one. You know what I mean? Whatever Ra was touching right there was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then the beats that go along with his cadence and the way he flowed. Oh man,
Oh yeah,
insane, bro.
Insane. Nah, I gotta. The ones you're putting on the list is incredible, man. Your 24 is LL Cool J. Mama Said Knock You Out.
Yeah. Now don't get me wrong. I love all the other ones, but this one, he came back hard. The first joint was the booming system. You know what I mean? Then he hits you with the like. I feel like the way Drake is now, that was sort of how L was. Like Ella hit you, you doubt him, he'll tear you up, and he got bought, but he made them like he didn't care. Like he made Round Girl, which is still like a classic. Like I put that on, kids start dancing to it. You know what I mean? And with a girl with extensions in their hair, mean they don't know what that means.
Your next one was 25. Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet.
Yes.
Talk about it, brother.
Yo, just public, and like as a kid, like with so many people like scared to like with people that get to a certain status, with so many people that get to a certain status and scared to talk out about like racism and what's going on and everything else, and like Public Enemy said we don't give a fuck, like like we gonna talk about it all. And it's such a Public Enemy, such a weird group when they came out, because it was like you got this militant squad, but then they got like a little joker jester on the side. You know what I mean? That's funny, but he's still delivering the message too. It's like it was something like out of the mind. Then like with their videos, and you got like they showing black folks being base heads. You know what I mean? White folks being base heads. Like you know what I mean? It was crazy. It was like, are we supposed to be watching? Like you thought you was watching the news. You know what I mean? But you watching the Public Enemy video, like you know what I mean? And you know what? Like I know he had a unorthodox style, but Chuck D is so underrated as a lyricist. Like you know what I mean? Like crazy.
Now,
and you know what?
We still putting out work, man. Chuck D's the man.
You know what's funny too?
What up?
You get NWA that fuck the police, this and that, like Public Enemy, like the white man, like saying what they gotta say. But don't you notice those two groups are so loved by white people?
Yeah.
When you see even rock people, when you see them, they wearing the Public Enemy shirt, or they wearing the NWA shirt.
Yep.
It's like they like those groups that push the boundaries. You know what I mean? And didn't care what nobody was going to say or anything else. You know what I mean?
No, facts, 100%. Facts. No, Public Enemy, they did their thing, and they're still doing their thing. And that's one of those groups that brought me up with knowledge. I was, instead of reading books and encyclopedias, I would just listen to the album. And I would come out, I would be smarter than a college class, or smarter than me graduating from college by listening to that album. I'm graduating by listening to that music, So yeah, I mean, who's next for you? You had LL, you got Public Enemy at 25. You got 20.
Okay, number 26, Run DMC, Raising Hell. Oh man, cause like that's like early years of hip hop for me. That's like waiting up for hot tracks to come on. You know what I mean? And watching then doing the joint with Aerosmith and all that, like like with them, when you saw them, it's like my cut. So like I was probably that 6-7-year-old kid walking around with Adidas and leather bomber because of Run DMC, and because of my cousins, they got it. My mother tried to keep me up with them. I'm surprised I didn't get robbed as a little kid, because I walked to school. I walked to school by myself. Me and my sister. I got a leather bomber. She got a sheepskin. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I would have my Adidas like, oh man. I used to
That's what's
sit.
up. I'm surprised too. Like you said that, like I wore the gear, but I had a rep, and then I had like people around me that that and nothing's getting taken from me type of stuff. So when I wore that stuff, it was for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, shout out to Randy. Fashion statements. They kept hip hop. They got hip hop off the ground, even though hip hop was bubbling. It was like hip hop, woo, Run DMC, and then everybody was like, oh, what's this hip hop thing? Everybody.
That's right. Yeah.
Run DMC did that. So shout out to Run DMC.
And run is nice. People sleep like DMC was dope, but Run was nice. Run flow was crazy, yo.
Yeah. No, he was not. No. I didn't say he wasn't nice. Run DMC.
No. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying overall. Yeah.
What the hell is he talking about? Like I say. I don't even like saying I'm saying they whackers. I'm like, what? I'm trying to get them props, man. They came out and did everything, man. They did everything you could think of. Your next group is speaking of groups, is EPMD, Business as Usual. Let's talk about that.
Oh my God. Now listen, I know I might ruffle feathers, but for me, like I love Wu, but my favorite group, I love Tribe, and my favorite group of all time is EPMD. Like EPMD first 5 albums is like, even the 2 they came with after they got like, they was the perfect combination. Yo, help her with that. They was the perfect combination with the beats, the rhymes. Like they both had like a slow flow, but they didn't sound like each other. You know what I mean? Like, and they was saying some shit. And business as usual. That's when they really got like crazy, like with Gold Digger, and then Rampage. Oh my God, like man,
100%, man. Like EPMD is my favorite group. At least one of my favorite groups, man. Especially back then. Of course, I got a record, of course, on my 50th eventually. I'll show mine. Like I like you said, they had different sounds. I just remember where I was at. I remember like not that album, but I think it was Strictly Business, maybe Unfinished Business. I remember us stealing a limo and riding around trying to be cool in the projects and trying to act like we ballers. We run out of gas on the highway, and we had to like go get some cups, McDonald's cups, all that stuff, and go walk. Look at a gas station was close to us. We walking on the highway getting with gas and McDonald's cup, Burger King cup, whatever. And we had to fill it up and we dropped it off. And because my boy worked at a limo company, he took it and then he came and got us. But I remember listening to EPMD, those albums around the time and jamming, thinking we EPMD. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
So yeah. We'll talk about the next one.
And especially when you okay. Yeah. It's coming. So
you talking about the
what
next
is
album. We're still talking about EPMD. But yeah, after EPMD, I think it's what we got? We got LL Cool J, Public Enemy. You had Run DMC.
Yeah, so we had 28 now.
EPMD.
Yeah, 28 is Luther Vandross. So
talk about Luther Vandross.
So with
Reason is the album.
Yeah, so with Luther, I'm biased too, because like I told you, my uncle played for Luther for like 25 something years. So it's like I remember I got a little short story. So I was supposed to go to a Luther concert, right? My uncle was gonna take me, and I forgot it was Luther, somebody else or whatever. I got in trouble in school. And I couldn't go. This happened twice now. I got in trouble in school, couldn't go, and they took my sister.
Oh, get out of here!
And I was tight. You know what I mean? Because like, like not that I even knew all of what Luther was talking about, but I loved the songs, and it was even more hype for me because I'm like, my uncle's in the band. Like when you're a kid and you get to go backstage and you hanging out with them, like it's like that's bragging rights, you know what I mean?
100%.
And but hands down, which I know everybody won't agree, but hands down, if Luther was alive, there's nobody that won a versus
Oh,
battle with Luther Vandross.
ooh, man. Yeah, because his voice is magnetic, man. It's just like
Oh man,
it
amazing.
goes there, man. It goes there, like, and
Yep.
it's just one of those ones, man, and you can't deny it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say. His voice was incredible, man. He really, and we didn't know his sexuality, but we thought he was, it was great that he was singing to the women because we could sing to our women, with the music. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, you know what's funny? Even to this day, like my uncle, like somebody in my family was like, "Yo, so was Luther? Was Luther gay? And my uncle would not talk bad about Luther. He won't say anything, like but he'll be like, "Listen, Luther had women everywhere." You know what I mean? Like he'll tell you.
I bet he did.
And Luther, he told me a story that uh, uh, he was on tour with Anita Baker, and I think one of Luther's band or something, something happened, and Anita went off on a couple of members of his band.
Oh snap!
And they went back and told him, and he came out and they said, "Yo," he told her, "Listen, this is my tour. You on my tour. Don't you disrespect anybody in my band. This will be the end. This will be the end. This will be your last stop on this tour." You know what I mean? Like they say, he always treated his band right, money wise, everything, and he always treated them like it's Luther and his band, not like I'm Luther and the rest of y'all are down here. You know what I mean? So
it makes sense. I mean, he was humble.
Yep.
He was humble, man. Let's go to your number 29 is Michael Jackson, Off the Wall.
Yeah, I tell like we said, not too many people on the list get 2 albums, even though they could well deserve it. You know what I mean? But
you can put 2, 3.
But some albums are just that powerful and that strong for me. You know what I'm saying?
This is your list. That's what I'm saying. That's why I want you to shine. You know what I'm saying?
Like off the wall was an amazing album, and almost every song on there somebody tried to redo, sample, everything. You know what I'm saying? Like going back to listen to it, take that from her. Going back to listen to it, like you see where De La Soul get the beat from Break of Dawn from Michael Jackson joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know that doom 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 doom. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. That's a flawless album. You know what I mean? That and Thriller, like for me.
The album that's fire, man. Your number 30 is Tribe Called Quest, Low in Theory. I put Lower in Theory for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, Low in Theory is the 30th, and then I could do my list real quick.
That's it. I mean, classic, like Tribe, like production wise, Q-Tip, lyricism, Fife in your face, like it sounded like something that shouldn't have worked, but it did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and it's like, I don't know. It's just what we grew up to. Like, and that album gave us Scenario, and you know what I'm saying. And it's like, oh man, it's just
they put some work, man. You gotta talk about, if you talk about any group, especially in hip hop, Tribe is one of the ones that's
and well deserved that they now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well deserved.
100%. All right, so he says he loves the album. Real talk. Jerobi was there too. Let's get into my 10 real quick, and then
hold on. I'm sorry. One thing. I love Jerobi. I love Jeromy, but what did Jeromy do?
Oh, you talking to him? Oh, I don't know. I don't.
No, I'm just saying in general. Like, I know he was in the crew and stuff, but like, like, I mean, he might have rapped on one or two things. It's almost like Pretty Lou and Lost Boys. Like, he was just there, like. But shout out, I love Jeromy. Shout out to Jeromy.
Bagging the hose or something. I don't know what he was doing, but
Word.
I don't know what Jeromy was doing. To be honest, I mean, he would have to explain that himself. I don't know. When you said his name, he said his name. I didn't even know what to say about him, to be honest. It's funny that you said that. He's laughing about it. He said it's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, it's like this. The last album, he did his thing. He rapped and everything, to try to make up that void for Fife, but
All right, so let me get my 10 in, and then you got another 10. You got another 20, man. So I just wanna let you know we hour and 30 minutes in. So just letting you know, because I know you got the kids.
Yeah.
All right, so my 10, number 21 is Fred the Godson, God Level. Beautiful album. He did it with Hitmakers before he passed away. You got to check it out, man. Just an album that, I can't skip nothing. It had nothing to do with his death. I was saying it was a classic prior to him dying. And R.I.P. to Fred the Godson. It's just an incredible album. Just, I always wanted that for certain MCs like that. You got credible artists. You want them with the best producers. And he got with some of the best producers at the end. And then he got with 38 Special. And he's about to attack those beats. And then he passed. So that sucked. Number 22 is CMW. That's Compton's Most Wanted for short. MC8 is one of the guys that's in there that everybody knows. It's a Compton thing. And speaking of groups, this is one of the groups that loved EPMD, and they shadowed them, and they from the West Coast, but they kind of shadowed them, loved them, gave credit to them, and then put out an album. They wasn't scared to put out an album. Number 23 is Jamal, Last Chance, No Breaks. Now Jamal is from Def Squad Camp, not EPMD, but Eric Sermon, I would say, from Illegal. Like we talked about Illegal earlier with the They went solo. Malik went to Snoop Dogg's camp, and Jamal went to Eric Sermon's camp, and it paid off. Last Chance, No Breaks. I can't put that album down. I listen to it every year. 24 is OC. The album Jules is incredible. It's just an incredible project. I can't put OC down. OC's a great lyricist. Another lyricist that no one talks about as much.
Yeah. And it came out around the same time as Nas. Matter of fact, MC Search is responsible for like putting out his first album, just like Nas.
Yeah.
Putting out.
He did come out at the same time, so I think that album got slept on. OC.
Yeah.
But it's a classic. Jules is a classic. Number 25. I said I was gonna get to EPMD joint, of course. EPMD Strictly Business, the first one, I think it started a movement for me. I think, like I said, that was the album I was listening to when I was getting into trouble, running around doing that. I just remember being with my friends, bumping it, thinking we EPMD with the hats, all type of stuff, right? Anything you could think of.
Yeah.
On the mic, fake mics, rapping with a hairbrush, So Strictly Business, the first album that got me to love the group, and then I, went on to love more albums. Number 26. Sporty Thieves. Cinema. A lot of people are gonna say, Scrubs, or it's called Pigeons.
Rest in peace to Marlon Brando.
He got hit by a car. That was crazy. But yes, Sporty Thieves, Street Cinema, a great album. It's like mini movies. They did movies on these songs. It was incredible. Like, people sleep on this album. I'm so pissed. 27 is Master Ace, Sitting on Chrome. I love that. One of my best. He's a great rapper, great song creator. Master Ace, Sitting on Chrome is he's just a dope artist. He didn't say enough about the Ace, man, and he got numerous albums that's fire.
Yeah, I just had the chance to meet Master Ace a couple of weeks ago. Well, like 2 months ago when I did the Grind Mode Cypher, because he did one that same day. So I wasn't on the same cypher as him, but they shot all the ciphers the same day. So I got to chop it up with him and you remember Lachey from the group? That's his wife.
Lachey.
You know,
Oh,
they
that's
got
right.
they got married, you know. They got kids and everything. Yeah. And then shout out to Lord Digger, you know what I mean? I'm cool with Lord Digger as well, you know.
Shout out to Lord Digger, man. My 28th album is Diamond D, Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop, man. Oh man, such an underrated album. I love that album. I listen to it again over and over and over again, man. Diamond D, Stunts, Blunts. And he came out with another album after that. It was just as good, but it wasn't good as this one.
Underrated as a lyricist and a producer.
Yeah, like the dude's incredible. When they talk about, they be like, "Oh, Dr. Dre" or people that can rap. I'm like Pete Rock. I'm like, yo, y'all forgot about Diamond D. Like he does this.
Yep,
he does this, man. My 29 is Gangstar, Moment of Truth. Shout out to Gangstar from Boston, from Massachusetts, from the Berry, especially Guru. You know, shout out to him, R.I.P. to Guru. You know,
yep.
and
Me and Guru share the same birthday.
Oh, y'all do?
Yep, July 17th.
Oh, that's dope, man.
Yep, I used to work at Hagenized in Long Island, and Guru passed by one time, and he would be in there frequently. I think he lived in Long Island somewhere. So one day, I told him I wanted to give him one of my demos. So he gave me he told me to take it to Empire where his office was. So I dropped it off there, and I'm like, yeah, he ain't gonna get the tape. He came by like 2 weeks later and was like, yo, you nice. You know, you got something, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, and you know, he would always talk to me, and then I hadn't seen him, you know, no more or whatever. But you know, I think eventually, you know, he probably would have, you know, tried to help me out, but you know, he definitely, you know, told me, you know, to keep on going with it, you know.
Nah, that's dope. Sally got a one-track mind was fire. That's what he says, Ben. Shout out to Ben Frank and everybody in the chat and everybody watching this now. My 30th album is The Whispers. It's a you would say our parents' group in a sense. The Whispers, man, and the beat goes on. I can't put that album down. I can't. I listen. I just recently did a Whispers mixtape. Like who does a Whispers mixtape? You know what I'm saying? Like I love the Whispers. Great. A lot of great songs. I created my daughter. You're talking about daughters. I created my daughter off the Whispers. Let's put it that way. And,
yeah, that's those twins with the gangster mustache.
That's exactly who they are. That's exactly who they are. All right, let's get to 31 to 40. The 31 is De La Soul. De La Soul is dead. Talk about it.
Oh man, like so yeah, I love 3 Feet High and Rising and stuff, but I think with that one, they came back to like prove a point. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like everybody wanted them to do like this whole Daisy business, like you know they didn't get it. That was a point in their life, but now they was moving on. So like you know like. Just the first joint, you know, hey, how you doing? Sorry, I can't. You know what I mean? A classic, and then Saturday, oh, forget it. Like they killed it with Saturday. You know what I mean? So, like, I love that album.
Yeah, man, this is a dope album. Your 32 is John Mayer. Continuum. John Mayer.
Oh yeah, so you know it's. You know, we all got stuff out the box of hip hop and R&B that we love, and John Mayer. I just like, you know, I start like because there's songs I used to hear now and then, like in an elevator somewhere, and I'm like, this is really crazy. And then I started listening to Continuum, and I was like, yo, this album is dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I would listen to his old records and be like, oh, snap, he sing that. You know what I mean? So, but Continuum is another one for me that all the way through, I can rock with that one all the way through. You know what I'm saying? So, you know. And what made me start like,
because I'm a fan
Yeah.
of him to singing. I just never listened to an entire album. I gotta listen to an entire album. That's all. For him.
Well, if you're gonna listen, if you're gonna listen to one, listen to Continuum. You know.
And that's why we're doing this, because I want to like open my mind up for new albums too. 33, you got The Shining.
Woo! Yo, like I felt like I was from Brooklyn when you heard that. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, like, and it was so dope because, like, you know, that's the era when you ran and you bought a single, and then when you saw they had another song on the B side, you know what I mean? I think at the time was Let's Get It On. I think, you know what I mean? But oh, that was such a dope album, and like the way they would go back and forth, it was, man, classic. It was like, you know, and then they coming off the heels of, like, you know, at that around that time it's Mobb Deep and Smith and Wesson, like, you know, it was crazy, you know.
Nah, 100%, man. What's your next one? Your next one's 34, Culture Club, Colors by Numbers, and I love this group. I never listened to the entire album, I don't think, but Culture Club, talk about that real quick.
All right, so you know, like, so for me, growing up as a kid, like, I was also influenced by what played, like, so I had the hip hop I listened to, you know, being around my cousins and everything, you know what I mean? So, like, if they had certain records I loved, I had my mom buy them. But then in my crib, my parents played, you know, like top 40, you know, all them type of stuff, you know what I mean? So, like, my dad is running by Boy George, you know what I mean? So watching Come a Chameleon and Do You Really Want to Hurt Me? You know, all them records, and it's like,
trying to hurt me.
Yeah, like it didn't like affect me as a kid, like how this dude was dressed or whatever. It was just like, because back in the 80s, everybody was kind of wild with the colors and you know what I mean? So word, you know what I'm saying? But I just love the music, like, you know what I'm saying? And then I listen to the album and be like, oh snap, because you always find crazy joints that become your favorites on the album. That's not even the big singles. Like they got a joint called "It's a Miracle" and you know, I Know You Miss Me, like, you know, songs like that. And then, you know, after a while you go, you know, you listen to some of the other stuff. But for me, like, Culture Club was in my childhood, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, but this is why I want to do the show, because you open up various conversations to new music that won't be on Apple or the other list. Your 35 is the Cactus album. I love this album.
Oh man, yo, Third Base, yo, Search was like a white black man. I swear, like,
he is.
Yo, well, he was like
the gas face.
Word, but like, yeah, when they came out, like, you know, just like Gas Face and all that, like, it was like so dope. And then the way they could, like, because, you know, I love Beastie Boys, but like Beastie Boys is more wild and everything else. Like Beastie Boys made joints you could rock to and wild out to, you know what I mean? But they wasn't like lyrical, you know what I mean? But then when Third Base came around, and it's like, you know, it's like you see this white dude with the high top fade, you know what I mean? And, you know, and shout out to Third Base for giving KMD a shot, which eventually leads into MF Doom. So listen.
Yo, you gotta think about MC Search, man. A lot of stuff, like, you know, for him, man. You know what I'm saying? He started a lot of careers.
Yep, and he from Far Rockaway. Shout out to Far Rockaway.
The next album is which was we got 30. Oh, number 36 is BDP, Criminal Minded. Talk about Criminal Minded, man.
So, like, just like Public Enemy, then you had, like, it was almost like sometimes I think like back in the day, like KRS and Chuck D was almost like Professor X and Magneto to me. Like, you know what I
Ooh,
mean? Like, like Chuck D was telling you what it was, and like, we need to be like KRS was more like fuck them, like, you know what I mean? Like we coming, you know what I mean? And then, he'll drop jewels on you, but like he'll get into battles with Shan and all of that. Like it's like he was teaching you education, but he wasn't afraid to get in his battle bag and rip your head off. You know what I mean? Like
100%, 100%, man. Like it's a battle tested. Harris won. Like one thing I remember about him, he always says he's battle ready, meaning like say if Drake just came out,
yep.
he'll write a diss record for Drake and don't even know him, just in case.
Yep. I heard that same interview. I heard that interview. He said he had record for everybody just in case. You know what I'm saying? That's next level right there.
You gotta put that out just for a joke, like yo, this is when I was whatever. Something. He probably got like 10 albums with that. Imagine just having 10 albums of diss records, but they don't mean nothing. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Your number 37 is Foxy Brown. Nana. Foxy Brown.
Yeah, like I feel like Fox, like in the time we in now with all these females, I feel like Fox doesn't get enough love. You know what I mean? Because like number one, when you first heard Foxy on I Shot You, I thought that was like Shaheem or something. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like I thought it was like this little kid going off, and then you look and it's like, right, come on, baby. Come on, all right. Yeah, Fox is, coming off, and then you know what I'm saying, and that album was dope. Like, you know what I'm saying, like her first single, Black Street, on there. Then she had the joint with Meth. Like, yeah, that first album was hard. You know what I mean? And then to be a female aligned with Jay and Nas, two of the GOAT MCs, like coming up, she was tight with both of them. You know what I mean?
Nah, she was going at it. She was holding her weight, man.
And her and Kim set the standards on like how the girls are now. You know what I mean? Like being nice, but like exploiting your sexuality. You know what I mean? Like they know that this is how the game is, so they used it to their advantage. But they still delivered. You know what I mean? And I feel like too much is given to like a Cardi and Megan and all them. Nah, Fox and them was doing this way before y'all. You know what I mean?
100%.
Doing it in the time when it was a male dominant industry.
I was gonna say, only thing I get concerned about is like, the new generation not, like you said earlier, doing their research and due diligence to give the respect to the people that deserve it. Now, I got beef with, I got beef because she never gave Little Kim credit. When I say she never gave Little Kim credit, Little Kim actually went over there and taught her how to be a rapper, taught her how to pose, taught her how to dress, taught her how to rap better. And she still acting like Little Kim did nothing for her.
Who, Nikki?
Yeah.
Nah, Nikki, I've heard stuff she gave her credit. You know what I mean?
Baby paid Little Kim to perform a better artist. And then when she did that,
see, you know what?
They got an album together, dog.
I never heard that because I've heard, being from Queen, I've heard stuff with Nikki rapping around Dipset and all of them even way before she went to Cash Money.
No, me too.
You know what I mean? So
I'm telling you the story of Baby.
Yeah.
Down south, trained his artist to be an artist, and she act like she never met met her, and she got like almost a whole album with her, but it never came out. Ooh, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
I don't know when she put out that mixtape where she was posing just like Kim. She was giving Kim her homage right there. You know what I mean?
She never said, "Oh yeah, I got it." Like she just like when she got hot and famous, she forgot about everybody that got it there. That's all I'm saying. Yo, number 38
and then
Heavy D, Blue Funk. Talk about Heavy D. R.I.P. to Heavy D, man.
Yeah, Heavy D, Heavy D was dope too. As a lyricist, like Heavy D got busy as a lyricist too, and then a superstar as far as making hits. Like, and he was another one that didn't curse. Like, you know what I mean? When you able to put a song together called "Don't Curse" with some of the MCs that curse the most, like you know it's crazy, right? You know, yeah, but you know, Heavy D was always dope, you know, to me, like, and the way he like just kept doing his thing, like he always like he showed you he could spit, like Blue Funk. Reason why I picked that because I think that album he had so many joints on there, like really like showing off his lyricism. You know what I mean? So
she wants to be in the interview, man.
I know, you know.
That's all right. Speaking of big boys, you got the your 39 is B.I.G. Life After Death, the second album before you passed on this, man. Talk about it.
Oh man, so that's another one of the rare artists that I have on here that has 2 albums. You know what I mean? I feel like Ready to Die was a classic, but I feel like Life After Death is when Big started smelling his own shit. You know what I mean? Like his voice changed. He adapted that whole Alfred Hitchcock shit, and it's like that, yo. As a double album, that album is almost flawless too. You know what I mean? The one song that I like it's not a favorite, is the one with Lil Kim. But it's still a dope song. Yeah. But all the rest of the joints, oh my god, like it's hard for somebody to be called the GOAT after 2 albums when your 2 albums is Ready to Die and then Life After Death, which is a double. Like he left us with a gem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. I gotta give it to him.
And then to have RZA, to have RZA production on there, Primo, Havoc produced Last Days with the Locks. You know what I'm saying?
Like you said earlier, Biggie got into his bag. He knew what sounds he wanted. He was going at the producer like, I want that beat. He wasn't waiting on producer. He was like, I want that. Give me this one. You know what I mean? He set his foot in the dirt already. And people was like, I want to work with him. So he was working with everybody he wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Your number 40 is Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston. Talk about Whitney Houston. R.I.P. to Whitney Houston.
Oh, Whitney, like another one of those things as a kid. That's who your parents played. You know what I mean? And like, I felt like you heard Whitney, and when you heard anybody else, you're like, why they ain't singing like Whitney? Like, you held them up to Whitney's standard, but that's when you realized people couldn't do what Whitney could do. You know what I mean? Like, and I think The Greatest Love is like one of the best songs ever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's to the point that it was in graduations when you graduated. You know what I mean? Like, word.
Marriages, all time, anything you can think of, movies, cartoons.
That's right.
Yeah, it's crazy to and shout out to Whitney, man. You know, she died too soon, and lovely singer. Let me get into my number 31 is Eric B and Rakim, Paid in Full, man. You know, talked about Eric B. and Rakim already. You know, the beats were just fantastic. The scratching, the mixing, the mastering. The guy didn't, you know, curse again, and he, you know, he still. I was still scared of him. Let's put it that way. Like he didn't have to swear, and I was like, yo, if I see him on the street, I'm going across the street. You know what I'm saying? Like he looked tough.
And them fly ass Gucci suits.
Gucci suits, yeah, man. And he was getting those made. I heard he had money. He was getting those made by a certain
Dapper Dan.
Dapper Dan, yeah. Before he was Dapper Dan, yeah. Number 32, De La Soul, 3 Feet High is Rising. I chose this album because it was the first one, and you know, it sparked the movement. And you know, I was like, who are these dudes? Nerds that can rap? What is going on? Like I didn't know what the hell was going on, and I loved every minute of it because I was a underground nerd. You know, I was a gangster, but I was like a nerd. I was getting A's and B's in school, but you know what I'm saying? Like I was not telling my friends, you know, but you know, I love De La Soul. I was playing that probably, looking around playing it. You know, people like, what's that? Oh, that's Ice Cube. You know, lying. So you know, but when people got into De La Soul and they accepted them, I was like, man, I've been had these dudes. Man, I've been playing these dudes. So De La Soul. Number 33 is Tupac. All Eyes on Me. It's a great album, a double album. You know, but All Eyes on Me. I cheated to take this one because I could have a double album of Tupac. And, you know, if I wanted to pick one, because when I first started this exercise, I was just choosing one artist, one album. But then eventually, next 50, I will double up on certain artists. So, because it makes sense. Because if I like them, I like them. 34 was Kanye West, The College Dropout. Of course, this is the first one he did. And everybody was going bananas. Like, I knew who Kanye West was. But it was like, wow, he put out an incredible batch of work, and this was just incredible. The first album, 35, is the documentary, and without 50 Cent, I'm pretty sure this album wouldn't be this fire. But I love the documentary, man, and you know, just his voice, his flow, his cadence. It was one of his best albums, if not the best game album ever. 36 is Kendrick Lamar, of course, and Damn is the first album that popped up in my head that said, wow, I can't skip nothing. It is Damn. It's damn good, you know. So shout out to Kendrick Lamar. And 37 is Benny the Butcher, Tana Talk 3. Benny the Butcher, man, I can't again say enough about some of these newer artists that are on the scene now. This is one of his classics, old school classics, Tana Talk 3. A lot of people still talk about this one. It's incredible. Yeah. It's incredible. It's when he got it's like whenever you put your baby face on a cover, it becomes a classic. But this one was dope. Yeah. The picture on it looked like it's drawn or pastel paint. Number 38 is Conway the Machine.
Shout out to Griselda.
Yeah, shout out to Griselda. Shout out to, you know, their whole movement. But Conway the Machine, man. As you know, what is it? God. As God Intended. As God Intended. This album, I can't put this one down. I know it's a newer album, but Conway the Machine, he has a classic album, and it's called From a King to a God. Sorry, From a King to a God is Conway's album. I can't put that album down. That album's crazy.
Yep.
My number 39, you know, and it's funny because a lot of people compare her, but I don't like to compare her. You know, I just think she's, you know, you invent the wheel, and then you might invent a better wheel next week. Shay Noor, As God Intended, and she got with Apollo Brown. Lord have mercy. That album is like, I think it's one of those albums he saw her out because he seeks out certain rappers that he wants to on his beats, and she was blessed, and she was blessed correctly because it wasn't like his normal. He had the little scratching, you know, the record thing on this, you know, the signature thing, but it was the album was incredible. Shout out to Shay Noor. Shout out to the album As God Intended. My 40th album is I put that down. I'll write that down. My 40th album is Ghostface Killer. Ghostface Killer, Iron Man. Ghostface Killer, Iron Man. Ghostface, I think, you know, like I said, triple tape of Raekwon, Iron Man for Ghostface. You know, it's just an incredible album, man. He just salutes to Paul Brown, salutes to Shay Noor. Yeah, man. You know, I think these. So that's my 40. Let's get to your 50th, your 41 and 50th, and then we're almost gonna close out the show. And we could do another 50 some other time. Main and Medicine's
Yeah.
final 10, 41. 41 is Gangstar Daily Operations. Talk about that real quick.
Oh man, that such a dope album. That's the one that had Mass Appeal on it. You know what I mean? And I feel like they really got into their bag with each other. Like Primo and like Guru used to kill those Primo beats. You know what I'm saying? Like they was a force. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to Guru.
Yo, 100%. 100%. Yeah, 42 is Ludacris Word of Mouth.
All right, so with Ludacris, like, so what made me love Ludacris is Ludacris to me. When I first heard him, he reminded me of Redman. So it was like he was a down south Redman. You know what I mean? Like he was animated and everything, but lyrically he was killing it. You know what I mean? But he had like the little comedic stuff in there, like Redman do. You know what I mean? So that album was dope.
I just want to tell this dude that Ghostface already dropped. He said his new album's about to drop. No, his album's already out, man.
Yeah, it's out. The album is dope. Yeah. Like 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Your number 40. Your number 40. I know your mic, man. Your 43 is Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. Talk about 43.
Yeah, I feel like that's what really introduced everybody to Kendrick. You know what I mean? Like, and his storytelling and everything. You know, on that album, like I think that's what showed you this dude is lyrical. Like he's one of them that don't necessarily sound like he from the West. Like it remind me like how like when you heard Exhibit or even the hieroglyphics, like them dudes that could spit, you know what I mean? And it's like you don't even think that, oh, we from the West Coast, you know what I mean? You know, you just relate and feel what he's saying, you know what I mean? So I think that album is what really put him on the map big time.
That makes sense because a lot of people go to that album before they go to any album when they talk about Kendrick. Your number 44.
That album's still on. It's still on the top 200.
Damn, it is.
Yep. He broke a record for having an album on there like for the longest. You know.
That's what's up. Give it to him, man. He deserves it. Number 44, Drake. Things Were Never the Same. Talk about Drake, man.
Yeah, like, you know, I mean, most people now probably act like they're not fans of Drake. I've been a fan of Drake. I've been a fan of Drake since his like early mixtapes, even before he started rocking with Wayne. But like, you know, this album was dope to me because he was getting big, and then what made it dope for me is that he did the Wu-Tang song on there. You know what I mean? He had that Wu-Tang song, yeah. And they were supposed to do a remix with Ray and Inspector Deck and them, but I don't know, something happened. I forgot, but you know, but they gave him a lot of love for that, you know. And then he had that machine gun rap for all my niggas in the back, machine gun, you know what I mean? So that was a dope album.
100%, man. Your 45 is Eminem Marshall Mathers LP. Let's talk about that.
Well, you know, I'm kind of tired of people acting like they not fans of M. Like when M came out, okay, you fan of M? When M came out, it was something totally different. And you know, I love his first album, but when that Marshall Mathers album came out, like he really got in his lyrical bag, you know what I mean? And I think I'm Sorry Ma, I think that's one of the craziest songs, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. And and then Stan, like the right from the fans. Oh my God, like, you know, I think that was his greatest album, you know.
Yeah, and I probably would agree because I did like his silly stuff, but I like that album because it was more serious, more lyrical, like you said.
Yeah.
Shout out to, he got a new single also. Shout him out, man. Eminem.
Yeah.
46 is Tupac Machiavelli. Talk about Machiavelli real quick.
So like I can you come get a So Pac, I always loved Pac, even when he was with Digital Underground, and you know what I mean. And like it used to drive me crazy with him when he was going. It used to drive me crazy with him, like going at the East Coast and stuff. But I always respected him. But it's funny, like as he's died, you know, it's in the middle of him shitting on the East Coast, but that album came out and I couldn't put it down. Like I'm sitting there like this album is crazy, and I couldn't put it down. You know what I mean?
Well, let's backtrack. In real time, he wasn't shitting on the East Coast. He was actually trying to form an East Coast group and a label. So when he died, but yeah, I know what you're saying though. I get what you're saying. Number 47 is EPMD, Business Never Personal. Talk about EPMD, man. I think that's your second album.
Oh man, yeah, that's another. Like I said, EPMD is my favorite group, and oh man, it's like that. It's crazy how ill that album was, and how that was setting the platform. Yeah, setting the platform for Das, Red. You know,
that's the album.
Even K Solo, even though K Solo was out.
Yeah, that's the album they branched off on.
Right? Yeah, but then that's also the album they broke up right after. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like,
right.
You know, so it's crazy. Like it always bugs me, but that album was another flawless album. You know what I mean? Like they had the world by the throat, and it's like when I heard they broke up and everything happened, I was like, can't be. You know what I mean? That was a sad time in hip hop right there. You know,
sad day for hip hop. No, 100%, man. Your 48 pick is Kanye West, My Dark Twisted Fantasy. Talk about Kanye on that album.
So I love all the college dropout joints. You know, those are classics. That you know how they say I miss the old Kanye. You know what I mean? But My Dark Twisted Fantasy, that's like a movie. That's like a piece of art. You know what I mean? The features was perfect. You know, from RZA, Swizz, Rick Ross to Nicki Minaj, setting the whole album off. Like, you know, Jay, like, man, and then the first single to have like a little mini movie out of that. You know what I mean? And it's like, this is right after the whole Taylor Swift shit, but he telling people I'm an asshole. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm good at what I do. You gonna love me anyway. Like,
you gotta love me anyway.
You know.
You gotta give him credit for being himself. Let's put it that way. I love Kanye.
Yeah.
Himself, man. Let's talk about 49. You got Alicia Keys, Diary of Alicia Keys, man. Talk about it.
Oh man, Alicia Keys is amazing to me. Like her pen game, you know, playing her instruments and everything. It's like that first album was so dope, but that second album, it was like, you know, it's like that first album's out the way. Now I can do what I want to do. You know what I mean? And it's dope. And I remember getting that album 2 days before my daughter was born.
Ooh.
and I would listen to it on the way to the hospital to go see her. Then it's funny because as she grew up, she was 2 before Alicia Keys came out with her next one. So my daughter ended up loving like the third album, you know, from listening to the
Okay, yeah.
second
So she
album
kind of
with
grew
me
up.
all the time. Yep.
Yeah. She grew up around it. You know what I'm saying? Grew up around good music.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's dope, man. Because like
Yep.
it's generational. You know, your parents brought it to you. Now you're bringing it to your daughter. Um, it's perfect, man. Your number 50 is Jagged Edge J.E. Heartbreak. Let's talk about that, man.
All right. So Jagged Edge is another group I love, and of course that album was one of I love their albums too, but that was one of their best albums. And of course, they kind of, you know, emulated after the NE Heartbreak, so they did the JE Heartbreak. But they're another group that was dope. Like I know 112 and all them was out there, but Jagged Edge just makes those songs, like, you know what I mean, like,
Yeah.
you know, them songs that just hit you, like, you know what I mean. And that album was so dope to me, you know.
Is that the album Let's Get Married's on there?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. I gotta go back to because I was
Let's
gonna
Get
review
Married.
I was gonna review a
Yep, it
lot of
had that Keys to the Range.
yeah. Oh yeah, they had some hits on there, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me get you out of here. Let me do my last 5, my last 50. I mean, my last 10. I'm sorry, and you know, and get you out of here. Severe's final 10, 41 to 50. You know, 41, Big Pun, Capital Punishment. One of his greatest albums. R.I.P. to Big Pun. You know, I didn't like a lot of stuff. He almost didn't make the list because I heard he did a lot of bad stuff. So you know, but anyway, it's a great album. Big Pun, Capital Punishment. Number 42 is Ja Rule the Damager, The Sun Rises in the East. Just another great album, you know. My man putting his stank on it. And Ja Rule the Damager, man, one of the best
First,
artists to this date. Still dope, man. And The Sun Rises in the East.
first compact CD I've ever.
Say it again. You're breaking up.
That was the very first CD I ever bought.
Oh, word?
This first came out. First CD because my mom gave me a new boombox that had the tape and the CD. So first thing I went out and bought. Yep.
Yo, the transition from, you know, well, I didn't have the eight tracks, but my mom's did. Then the tapes to the CDs to everything now is crazy. Number 43 is Funkadelic. It's called Maggot Brain. Now, this is one of my mother's favorite albums. It's, you know, George Clinton and his whole crew. A lot of people. It's like 42 people in the band. But Funkadelic, Maggot Brain. It's the album cover with the lady had the afro and she's buried from her neck down. It's just a head up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In the back is just it's a skeleton, like she died there, like she, you know, it's crazy. I'm like, what is this, mom? Look. But I grew up to love it, man. Funkadelic, Maggot Brain. 44 is Anita Baker, Rapture. Now, Rapture, man, Anita Baker is one of my favorite singers, period. To this date, you can't say nothing bad about Anita Baker. I go crazy. I love her, man. Love her to death, man. Anita Baker just in Rapture, that album is flawless, man. I can't say anything wrong about that. Speaking of
I know.
Wonder, I had to look like really search for Stevie Wonder's best album or best album, period. Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life. Songs in the Key of Life. That's another one that's dope. I can't put it down. It's just one of those records that you're like, yo, man, Stevie Wonder is that dude, man.
Genius.
Writer, genius, singer, piano, he's playing Monica, anything you can think of. So no excuse.
Everything he does, no excuse and blind. That mean if you could see, got all your legs and shit, that mean you need to get up and get out and do something.
Yep, it's like Outkast said, get up, get out, and get something, do something, get something. Yep. What I got for number 46, I got Nirvana, Nevermind. Now I do listen to a little bit of rock and roll, and Nirvana was the group that got me back into rock and roll. it was always a group that got me back listening to rock and roll. And Nirvana was it. This album did it for me. Never mind. And I started listening to rock and roll again back then. 47 is Janet Jackson, Control. Come on, what can you say about Janet Jackson? I had a crush on her since she was on Good Times, and then when she started singing and dancing, bananas and throwing the party, I was like, "Oh, who's that?" You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Janet Jackson. Number 48. Speaking of beautiful women, is SZA, and y'all might go crazy, but Sosa, SOS or SOS, you want to call it? SZA, that album is insane, and it's a lot of people go alternate. They think no, not alternate. What's the other one she got? The first one or the second one? They think it's that one. I think it's SOS. SOS is it's just a great album. Everything about it is just.
And you know they got her as like pop now, but she, you know what I mean, like she got her start from the Black Panther soundtrack. Because TDE did that whole soundtrack. Yep.
That's crazy. That soundtrack's crazy. That soundtrack's crazy.
Yep.
Number 49 is Ka. K.A. It's called Descendants of Cain. This dude is a brilliant artist. He's a firefighter, and by day and a rapper by night, in a sense. And his superpowers is rapping. If you never heard of K.A. Ka, you're doing yourself a disservice. Your ears will love this artist. He can rap his butt off. Let's picture this way. You know who Rock Marciano is, right?
Of course.
All right, you got to know who Ka is. K.A. If you get off this, that's the thing you need to go listen to is a Ka album. You're gonna be like, wow, how come I didn't know about this dude? Because he comes out when he wants, and he makes a lot of money because he's so dope. Everybody can't wait for him.
Yeah.
And he says, yes, indeed. You know what I'm talking about. My last album, 50, and then we're going to do another 50 some other time. This is 2 hours. Number 50 is Scarface, The Fix.
Yo, you know what, though? I enjoyed this 2 hours. I feel like it went by fast. Like, you know what I mean? Word.
I think we can, I love talk. Listen, we can go for 4 hours. I got the charger, I got everything, the fan on it, you know what I'm saying? The ice, everything, making sure, because I know it's gonna be a great conversation, a long conversation. But at the same time, I was thinking about people's attention spans. Is like I usually do an hour and a half, and people barely watch those. So I was like, damn, 2 hours. Hopefully the real people that's like in the audience, the real people that's in the chat, the real hip hoppers will listen to this, the full 2 hours. So so people like us will listen to the whole 2 hours, But Scarface is my last one, The Fix. Great album. I just did a Scarface. Y'all can go listen to that on all DSPs, and I make a lot of mixtapes and stuff like that. And y'all follow me on this channel and stuff like that, man. But yeah, that's my 50. Talk about the 50. Let's talk about the 50, and then we'll get you out of here, man. And we'll talk about what we're gonna do again. So you did your 50, and I did my 50. And then we'll do other 50. But the next 50, we're gonna probably, I might have some of yours that you did today. You might have some of mine that I did today. So that'd be dope. So we'll still have 100 apiece. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yeah, I think.
Talk about your 50. What you think? Was it a solid 50 that you did? It was a good 50, I think. I loved your
50. Yeah, I think so. You know what I mean? Like I think your 50 was because you named a couple of joints, and I'm sitting here like, damn, I knew I forgot something. Like, when you so in deep with all this music, it's like 100 albums feel like a lot, but once you start diving in, like before you know it, you had 50 already. You know what I mean? Already so, but and this is if I feel like I feel like.
Yeah, that's why we're doing 100 apiece, because we're gonna do 100.
And I feel like
we gotta do 100 apiece.
Yeah, but we both ended up doing 100.
Yeah, and that's what I love. That's why we was going crazy for almost 50, and we couldn't stop our pen from writing more records, because that just talks about when people say hip hop's dead or music's dead. It's not. Just go listen to another classic album and until you get to something else.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yo, if we get anything out of this show, I want for people whether they agree or say we forgot something, I know we definitely hit albums that they love. Make them go right after this show and go CDs in now. You know what I mean?
Well, press play.
Because I'm sure we mentioned something that they forgot. Like, oh man, I used to love that album. Let me go listen to it now.
Yep. So no, I really appreciate you coming on. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna do another 50 apiece. So like today we did 100 albums, and the next time we'll do another 100 albums, and to make it complete for both of us. Before you get out of here, the format that I do love to say is promote. But at the end, I need you to say something positive, for the crowd, man. Give us something and just talk, whatever's going on.
I don't know. I just want to say, well, one reason why I love music so much is because I feel like music and sports is the two things that bring us all together. You know what I mean? No matter what, you know what I'm saying? No matter Republican, Democrat, black, white, whatever. When it comes to the music and when it comes to sports, like it brings us together. And especially with music, when you listen to some old music or something, it brings you back to a certain songs bring you back to a certain time, when you was happy, make you think of your mom, your dad, your family member you lost, you know what I mean? And it's something that nobody could take away from you. Like if you want to get in that zone, you can go YouTube and look up a video or whatever and just put yourself back into that zone and remember, how it was to love these songs and love that time in your life and everything else. You know what I'm saying? So,
100%. Nah, greatly put. Give us something positive to sign out on, man, and then I can do my promotion after that.
Just love one another. You know what I mean? Appreciate your family. Appreciate everything because tomorrow's not promised. Anything could happen. You know what I'm saying? Like don't hold grudges and stuff like that because that person you holding a grudge with might pass and you never get a chance to say what you got to say. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, it's the hate and what you angry at. It's not even worth it. You know what I mean? Just don't let it consume you. Don't let it consume your mind and your heart. You know what I mean?
No, 100%, man, and greatly said. And what I usually say is kind of similar to what you were saying earlier, but spread more love than hate, man, and that's it, man. And speaking of love, I want to give a shout out to another podcasters actually, the Barbershop Talk Podcast. They on all streaming platforms. I got the shirt on, I got the black one on, so I'm representing. Shout out to those brothers, the three of them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go support.
Yo, if they listening, I definitely want to cop a shirt. You know what I mean?
Hey, I think if you go on the show, they give you a free shirt. I'm not sure, but I can get you on the show if you want. But they got give me you can send me a file drive of some of their music and their mixtapes and stuff. I'm gonna listen to this. But yeah, they hooked me up. I did the show. I'm on episode I think 135, I believe. And y'all go check it out. I'm at the 45-minute mark if y'all don't want to listen to the 4-hour episode they got. But yeah, shout out to the Barbershop Talk Podcast again. Shout out to me. This book is now on audio. Cevere's Chronicles, Cevere's Classics Volume 2. This is my second actual book. It's on audio now. My first book's not on audio, but this one is. And I got 4 ebooks that you can, listen, check out on Amazon, wherever y'all do your ebooks. And I got merch too. So I got merch too for not just my podcast, but for your family, for kids, for women, men, all that. So y'all can check out my line too. But yeah, man, that's all I got, man. Like I said, love over hate again, man. Let me just thank you again, man, for real, man. This is awesome. This is great. I loved it, man. Ben loved it. You know, Ben was there. Shout out to Ben that was in the audience. Shout out to Tribe Burrow that was in the audience. Shout out to my other boy who's in here. I just want to make sure everybody gets their props. Who else was in here? Who else is in here? My boy Jeff from Dartmouth Maps is in here too. So shout out to everybody watching this or have watched it before or about to watch it now or watching it now. And salute to you too, Ben Frank. He's my ghost podcaster, I call him. He's like the sideline podcaster. He's like well with me, but he's not, he's not on the show. Sometimes he's been on the show 3 times. But shout out to Ben. And shout out to you, man. The new single's fire. Can't wait for the album or the EP and whatever is dropping. But I'm tapped in. This show. So whenever you're ready to talk about an album or just have questions, let me know. We can tie that up. You know what I'm saying? But we do got to do a second half of this. So we got 100 more songs, 100 more albums for y'all. Me and 50 from here. So.
Word.
All right, man.
Matter of fact, next time, I might have some giveaways, that you could, have for the people. You know what I mean?
Okay, that'd be dope. Anything like
word.
that, the audience, man. I like to give away stuff. I do that sometimes with my clothing line, and I still got a couple shirts I probably can give away. You just reminded me, but I gotta get back to that. You know what I'm saying? Giving love to the people, give it back to the people, man. All right, y'all, we're getting out of here, man.
And then shout out, like I told you, shout out to you for this platform and just being the hip hop head that you are and giving us underground dudes a great look. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna continue working with artists I love, and I don't really, I hate to use the underground word, but that's what we have to use. But yeah, I'm gonna continue working with the underground and people I love and like, and hopefully they respect me like they respect their reflection in the mirror. We can work together in the future and they can be on this podcast 80 times they want. I mean, I'm all about support. I'm all about, and I don't be trying to get money. If you buy the book, if you buy the gear or buy something on Amazon, whatever it is, that's good. Share it, you like it, you comment below, that's better. Like, get the algorithm going so I can get more fans and eventually get paid from any of these platforms. But yeah, check us out, man, on DSPs on how many podcasts must get this, the short version, and then on THHC podcast, the Hip Hop Connoisseur podcast, which is this one. And again, thanks again for coming on, brother, man. This is the THHC podcast, episode 198. Apples to Oranges, first 50 best albums with Name the Medicine, and we have another 50. So y'all stay tuned for part 2. All right, peace out, y'all. We one love, man. We out. Name the Medicine, baby. Dope. Yeah, baby. We out. This thing taking forever to